What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. We're back at it again. It's another market pulse. Today is Thursday, April 14th, 2024, boys and gals, and it is going and flying by already. We are already 4.5 months into a 12-month year, boys and gals. So, again, do not get caught up in this thing thinking it's taking forever because, as you know, time continues to fly on by. So, as always, I hope everyone is having a fantastic day, boys and gals. Again, my name is ATX Crypto. Today, we're diving into analyzing some cryptocurrencies, checking out the overall market, seeing how it's going on, seeing what's going on, checking out with the PulseChain ecosystem. Should you react? Should you take advantage? And should you be scared, or should you be buying, or should you be holding, or what is going on? So, with all that said, I hope everyone, as always, is having a fantastic day. Let me say hello to some beautiful people who got to show up here early as well. We got Jason Smith in the house. Pampit, yes sir, yes sir. Prospector was good. Lord of the Ponzi, yes sir, yes sir. And AFAM or Alan Fizime. Again, I hope all of y'all and everyone joining and watching the replay gang has a fantastic day, boys and gals. We're getting into the weekend. We're slowly moving in, and see how time just keeps on flying by. It's almost Friday again. I know things seem to get a little bit crazy every now and again, but keep in mind that is just what markets like to do. So, what we got going on today? What we got going on? Let's throw on some music in the background, should we? Let's throw on some music. What we want today? We're gonna play this, see what it sounds like. All right, cool. We'll leave that going in the background. So, we got the Ethereum Gwei going down, boys and gals, sitting at 8 Gwei right now. Wow. That's pretty freaking crazy. Not going to lie. Let me see if I can try this again. Anyways, Ethereum sitting at 8 Gwei is pretty damn crazy, boys and gals. So if you got anything on the Ethereum network that you're looking to do, well, now might be a great time to go ahead and take advantage of it as well. We have some phenomenal things going on in the crypto ecosystem, while the rest of the market is actually doing a little bit of a poopy on this one, right? The rest of the market down 22 bips today, which is pretty freaking crazy. Again, they just ticked over, I guess, roughly about 37 minutes ago. So you can see yesterday it was actually down 58 bips, which is pretty freaking crazy, y'all. Looking at the Impulse MACD, it looks like this thing wants to continue to go down. What's interesting about this is Bitcoin tends to follow this pretty accurately, right? If we were to actually pull up, and I don't think I have it here with it, so let's just pull up, S&P 500. Let's just pull up that particular chart as well on top of this. Get rid of some of these other ones real fast, y'all. Here we go. So now that we actually have, whoops, I didn't do that one correct at all. Let's see if I can fix all that I just did, possibly. Did I actually click on anything? Cool, here we go. Cool. So we got S&P doing pretty much the exact same thing that that Bitcoin's doing as well. When you actually look at all these things and see how the overall market's actually playing out overall for this particular market, what is going on? Bitcoin seems to follow this pretty damn closely. So as this market's actually pumping up, you can see that again the Bitcoin market's actually following it pretty damn closely. So while it's going down, this could be meaning that we have some more downside potentials as well going forward into crypto. But does that mean you should be freaking out? Absolutely not. Does that mean you should be taking advantage of the dips? Absolutely, y'all. Everyone wants to buy in lower. Everyone always wants that. And then when prices come back into a lower range, everyone just loses their freaking mind. They're like, no way. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared of buying right now. And that's perfectly fine, folks. That is the market psychology doing what it does to you right there. Now, if we actually can see right here on the Kyle algo as well, things are looking into a bearish format here. The Impulse MACD a little bit bearish. We are in a bearish trend as well. So if I was actually playing this market, I would expect at this point in time that we're probably going to go down. Now, typically I've showed this in the past as well, but whenever we actually get into the Bitcoin halving, we tend to actually stay there roughly around a few days. Okay, so you can see the last time the Bitcoin halving was where we were at market wise, what actually went down with the market during that time period. And over the next 42 days, really, we'll say over the next 70 days, market pretty much stayed flat. It went up and went down, but for the most part, it stayed relatively flat. And then the overall market started really after that 70-day period. The last time the halving was here as well was all the way back, or the previous halving, should I say, was all the way back in 2016, which you can see again, the market did in fact take a 29% dip from the halving date on over into the period of the next 28 days. But then once again, as always, in roughly about 112 days, or roughly around 105 days, the market kind of started showing back up again, and then it just went absolutely crazy. So again, what could we expect now that we are here with the current market right now? Well, I anticipate that we're going to be seeing something probably along that similar path as well, folks. I anticipate that we're going to probably be looking here in this little market, possibly going down for the period of the first few days, weeks, months, not even months really, but really just for the first few days or weeks when the market first realizes it's a sell the news event. So anticipate that. If you have some dry powder available, put together some dry powder to take advantage of the dip that arises, because it may only end up lasting until June. Now, you know the saying, sell in May and go away. So I anticipate that we're probably going to start seeing something to come around after the May period actually ends. We have the Bitcoin halving, which this is actually showing should have actually have a whole countdown and roughly about 0.3 days remaining. So we're down into the last few hours essentially at this point in time. Forget the minutes. I know that ain't correct. You know, they got different things saying different things. But it is anticipated, folks, that we are looking into the halving happening within essentially the next few hours, as a matter of fact. Now, again, this isn't that massive news around the world that's going to be like, holy shit, it freaking happened. And then everyone get mad bullish. No, this thing has been what it does every single time. So essentially right now, they're mining 900 Bitcoin per day. It's going to go down to 450 Bitcoin mined per day. But what is even more interesting about this as well is the ETFs. So you can see, even with BlackRock buying their amount of Bitcoin alone, which some days they're buying 1,100, some days they're buying 1,600, some other days they're just buying 400 and 296. This is essentially them buying the Bitcoin mined that particular day. Now, again, you got Grayscale on the other side, which is, you know, a net seller. They've really been doing nothing but sell the entire time. Granted, they've had and held this Grayscale Bitcoin since basically 2013, if I remember correctly. So they've been a hot minute for them holding that Bitcoin. And they're up massively, folks. Imagine that you had the luxury to actually hold Bitcoin from all the way back in 2013. Like, imagine where the price was in Bitcoin during that time, right? We've pulled this up before, but when you look at some of these prices back in 2013, they were freaking super low, right? Like, I mean, imagine you had Bitcoin at $600, even anything less than $1,000 per Bitcoin. Incredible, folks. And this is, again, 2014 and 15 after the bull market. In 2013, it was sitting around $100 per Bitcoin, and it went up to possibly 250. So they've been holding this for quite some time. If you were actually holding this on the Grayscale side of things, you can see that we are into a point in time where, yeah, they're going to take profit, folks. You held something for damn near 10 years almost. You did really well with the amount of gains that you've been able to make, and now they're reaping the reward. So what's interesting about this as well is it's actually going to impact, of course, the entire ecosystem. So Bitcoin does what it does, and then from there, Ethereum follows, and from there, the overall total two, which excludes Bitcoin on this one, and, you know, counts all of crypto, is kind of showing what it does. It follows very closely to the overall market. When we actually see it, we just broke under the $1 trillion market cap as well. So something to keep in mind and pay attention to. Now, I do want to pull up the fib retracement on this one just for a second, just from, again, that local top to where we were on the bottom, for the local bottom area as well. Now, we have fallen below at this point in time the 382. We did recently touch it for a brief second. Let me hide this for a brief moment to make it a little bit easier to see. But you can see we actually touched this 382 for a brief moment. It bounced off it as support. Massive candle wick right here trying to get it. This is on the weekly as well. And again, we have the halving coming up here shortly, within hours, right at this point in time. So this is all what it's showing. It does look like it wants to come on back down and retest this 382 if it wants to remain bearish, which would put the overall total to market cap around $900 billion. Again, total 3, which excludes the Bitcoin and the Ethereum part of it as well, is actually coming on down. We can see it actually retested its own 382 as well, bounced off it, and is looking to form some support there. It's already come back down this week already so far, retested that 382 and bounced off it as well. Now, folks, I will say these candles are pretty damn massive. So in terms of like bullish, people want to be bullish. The way it works though, and what's going on ideally, or not even ideally, what's going on right now is when you have the amount of sellers selling and you have the amount of holders holding, right, the diamond handers, well, you don't have anyone really offsetting the sell pressure. So you have people who have been in crypto for quite some time, right? We can call it years, months, weeks, days, however long they've been in at this point in time, and you consider yourself holding. We'll call it, we'll talk about the PulseChain system here in a second, but even with the PulseChain ecosystem and the crypto ecosystem, if you're holding crypto for the long time, but you're not actually investing or injecting any more additional capital, well, you're not going to be able to offset the sellers. You're just not. And right now, that is essentially what's going on. You have a lot of people holding a lot of different tokens, or even just tokens in general. And because you don't have the people actually buying up those tokens right now, that's causing the red candles. Now, again, there's plenty of other reasons, but that's just a basic explanation as to what it is. Now, once we come on into the PulseChain ecosystem, folks, we are going a little bit bullish over here. In the last day alone in this ecosystem, we're up 5.52%, which again puts the price of PulseChain at 40803. You got the price of PulseX sitting at 40307. Price of the Ink token, $3.56, up 2.5%. You have the Hex price at 20994, so almost getting back to that penny level. A massive 26% gainer on that one today, or at least in the last 24 hours alone, because there's been quite a bit of injection over here. It did in fact cause a separation a little bit further for the ratios. So Hex over on Ethereum remains at 2017, whereas the overall ratio for that is roughly around 1 to 5.8. So 1 Hex over on PulseChain gets you roughly about 5.8 Hex over on Ethereum. Is kind of what that ratio means, or vice versa. You can see over here, this is actually happening. I don't know if y'all heard about this as well, but the Emirates Airlines now shills the movie. This is called The Highest of Stakes documentary of Richard Hart, Hex, and the PulseChain ecosystem. And this was available to folks actually flying to the United Emirates over here, right? So pretty interesting stuff. And this is, again, true stories over here, folks. So people are watching this, people are buying, people are seeing damn good deals. And what's funny is someone can come into the ecosystem right now, and even though you may have been here for years, can come in right now with a small percentage of the capital that you have injected into the ecosystem and absolutely smash the size bag that they actually are able to get. So again, think about if you have been in the ecosystem for a hot minute. I've pulled these numbers up before, but if you wanted to buy a million Hex when Hex is at 10 cents, that was going to cost you $100,000. But because it's at a penny right now, it only costs you $10,000 or $9,940 to get a million Hex. So someone can come in with 90% less capital and come and smash the amount of Hex that you currently have, because they're brand new to the ecosystem. They don't care about what's been going on for years. They see something on the chart and they're like, damn, that sucker looks cheap and I want some, and I can buy a lot for a little. Sign me up. And that is exactly what people are doing. So I'll say this to those of y'all who have been in the ecosystem and been here for a hot minute: do not get left behind to someone brand new to the ecosystem and just let them outperform you. I think that's just hilarious stuff. You're full of regret until you're not. 1000%. That is facts right there, my friend. So Richard Hart actually came through and made a fun little tweet over here. And I decided to put it through the good old AI system. What in the heck? What did I do with it? Where'd it go? Where'd you go? 1 second. Let me just pull it on up again. Do. Oh, I had it right here. Okay, cool. I'm tripping. I did have it open. I was just tripping over here. So I went through and, of course, made it to where we could hear Richard Hart read off some of his tweets. And one of the most recent ones was quite a fun one, but I'll actually let the AI do the job and actually read this one out to everyone and let y'all hear Richard talk over here. So let me know if y'all think this is something that we should continue doing, if it's even possible, if you enjoy it. But either way, here we go.
Markets. The market doesn't care if you bought higher. The market doesn't care if you are underwater. If you bought Ethereum at $5,000 and now it's $3,000, the market don't care. Don't click links in responses. Imposters. But you see, after you might have bought at $5,000, someone else literally bought at $1,000. So while you might cry and whine like a wimp at $3,000, they're quite happy here at $3,000 because they did 3x while you did minus 40%. So who should new people be more concerned with? The crying, whining, down for 889 days guy that bowed at 5,000, or the guy that 3x'd by buying 672 days ago? When people buy things, they often do so emotionally, and they prefer good emotions to bad emotions. What do you think feels better to a new guy? Hearing someone crying and moaning that they personally bought higher, or hearing about the mad gains of someone that 3x'd his stack? You are participating in the most volatile price action to ever exist. There's always going to be top buyers, period. And there's always someone that made money selling them that top. Most people just wish the top seller was them.
Right.
It's funny that people push the price up themselves with their bids, but don't see that they personally are part of the reason there was a top when there was. Because instead of waiting and buying dips, the bought tips, personal responsibility is quite rare these days. No raindrop thinks it's the flood. The same goes for sellers. People that sell all the time and never buy yell and scream about others not buying. Anyway, I sat through Bitcoin going from $30 to $2, and I'm still here. Want the too long, didn't read version. While you might have bought higher and are sad, many might have bought lower and are happy. It's too bad top buyers yell so much louder than bottom buyers. It's noisy for the new folk. Not financial advice. Past performance is no guarantee of future.
Boom. 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 Guys, that is 1,000% accurate right there. And again, we actually have a whole little chart that shows the exact same thing that he was talking about. Someone who bought the exact top of Ethereum at $5,000, and they've been holding since the top buy, not buying anymore, not buying the dip, not averaging or lowering their average price, or not doing anything to take advantage of prices being lower. They just bitch, moan, and cry, complain, and whine, and say, "Oh my gosh, I bought it 5,000, and then everyone just sold." And then, you know, they're down 40% right now, right? They're down 40% because it's sitting at $3,000 right now. Whereas someone who came in and bought the bottom, which again was only roughly about 112 days after the top, so it wasn't even that long, but they bought the bottom. They're actually up. They're actually up 3.5x right now because they bought the bottom. Granted, they probably didn't average in either in this situation, but they're actually up and they're profitable. Well, what can you say about the PulseChain ecosystem, folks? It's the exact same freaking thing. Everyone who bought up here and is bitching, moaning, whining, complaining, saying, "Oh my gosh, the price isn't doing anything. It's down 70%. Oh my God." Whereas if you again had bought the bottom right here, you're actually up 2.5x your money right now. Okay. That's it. As simple as that. Now, again, this is a pulse chart, and this actually holds true to many other things. At one point in time, before the most recent local dip, it was actually up 4.5 or 4.8x at one point in time, while it was actually at that bottom portion that you could have bought. So this is to go and say, folks, it is about perspective. It is about how you look at things. It's 1000% always a part of how that ends up working, because unfortunately we're humans and we are creatures of emotions. Those emotions cause us to do irrational shit sometimes, whether it be selling out of fear, jumping into the green candles pumping, right? You see the green candles pumping, you're like, oh shit, I didn't buy enough, I need to go get more. And so you just start trying to do everything you can to go get as much money as you can and as much dry powder as you can while the prices are pumping. And then you get mad after you injected your money after buying the green candles, and then you see red candles and you're like, well shit, I wish I wouldn't have done that. That was silly. I wish I would have just waited every freaking time. So stop doing that to yourself. It's as simple as that. If you want to, you should be running to go get as much money as you possibly can to scoop this freaking dip up, y'all. That is what it's about right here, right? Look at this right here. We've come back down. We've retested out this 382 level. It's doing the same thing right now that you're seeing the total 2, total 3 market cap do as well. It's doing the exact same thing, boys and gals. It's hitting that 382 level. Doesn't want to bounce off of it. It looks pretty damn solid as a level of support at this point in time. And it looks like, again, the market's wanting to slowly say the bottom is in. So when you should be going to run and grab any additional capital that you can, it's while the prices are freaking low. It's while the red candles are appearing. You got to switch your mentality and say, my God, what have I been doing with my life? I've been doing it backwards this whole time, because we all do it backwards. That's why it's literally the psychology of markets, right? That is a whole system that is in fact how it goes. So you actually see this little market psychology cheat sheet right here. It's this right here. Everyone starts going into this where you have this little hope, you have recovery, you start seeing some optimism, you're like, oh fuck yeah, you get into euphoria. And guys, this is a very quick run up. It can last a year or so, and then you get this for downwards or sideways for like 3 years in crypto. So get ready for this, because this is what it looks like, where you start getting into all of these different items. And if you pull up damn near any chart, as a matter of fact, there's a reason why this is called the Wall Street cheat sheet, because it is a psychology of markets. The candles doing what they do is just literally showing people's emotions right there. That's all this is. It's just like, hey, how are people feeling today? Oh, they're happy, they're buying. Oh, they're sad, they're selling. That's the psychology of the market, right? At this point in time. So keep in mind, when you get into some of these items, what you should be doing is try to flip the script and do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So when others are fearful, be greedy. When others are greedy, be fearful. Right now, we've seen the fear and greed index, as a matter of fact, come back down into the normal greed level. And if it continues to do what it does, which again, it has been, it could be bringing it down into the neutral level, which would be absolutely beautiful. That would be incredible to see. I know that means prices go down a little bit lower for a little bit longer, but folks, I'm telling you, when you get into the neutral level, it gets out the people who are just here for the quick little, I just bought yesterday and I'm already up 10x. Oh my gosh. It gets rid of all those folks. It rinses them out real fast. It gets rid of everyone going out, taking on leverage, trying to be like, oh my God, I'm going to go short. I'm going to go long. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You saw the person, and I pulled it up the other day on Twitter, and they ended up getting liquidated. They had roughly around $1 million in Pepe. They went 3x long in Pepe, and they got freaking liquidated. And you're like, why would you do that? What was the hurry? What were you trying to get to? Everyone's in such a rush to get to the finish line. And I don't understand that, because you got so much life to live, folks. You really do. And if you want to go live a lavish life and have some fun and YOLO and go travel and do all that, you can do that with plenty of money again, but you can also do it with friends, with family, and all that stuff later. And it doesn't really cost too much money in reality. So if you got $1 million and you're like, oh, I'm trying to go long, those are the people who are here getting absolutely rinsed and liquidated over here, right? Those are the people who are absolutely getting smashed in some of these prices on everything happening. So I pulled this up just to, again, share this information with everyone, because right now we're seeing some people finally come back through, right? We're seeing the system where you're seeing a beautiful little final rinse out. You get this little shakeout. We probably go sideways for a little longer into possibly May, June, somewhere in this range. And then you start going back up into these levels where you start breaking new all-time highs. Not only do you start breaking local highs, but you also start breaking all-time highs on here. And this would be an absolutely bullish freaking thing to see. That's what everyone's kind of waiting for, to be fair. But also at the same time, if you can take advantage of some of these prices while they're here, it just makes it so much better for you when you get here. So that way, instead of you saying, cool, I got $1 million, or cool, I got $200,000. What if you could 5x your bag down here? And now whenever it reaches the all-time high, you're sitting at $1 million at that point in time, for example. And I'm just using these instead because you can 5x your bag a hell of a lot easier at these prices, at these levels, than you can whenever prices are so much more expensive. We talked about it moments ago, but I'm telling you, whenever Hex was doing its thing and it had its run up, and you could get 1 million Hex and it was costing you $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 to get 1 million Hex, those numbers seemed unreachable, folks. They really did. They seemed unreachable. And now you're at a point in time where you're seeing it at a penny, where you can get it for $10,000. That's incredible. I don't care if it did this. Guys, look at this. This is a beautiful pump. It's 58% up in the span of a week. Incredible. Were you too scared to buy because you thought it was going to go lower? Cool. Could it go lower some more? Sure. Everything is possible in crypto. It's the most volatile asset in the world. There's a reason why you got to be somewhat of a crazy bird to be in crypto, right? You got to be somewhat crazy. And for those individuals like myself, you're all in crypto because you're like, why would I want to mess with something like this on the S&P 500 where it has a potential to go up 2x in the span of 10 years, you know? Like, what would you want that for, right? When was it at 2,500? Let's just pull it up. So, because it hit 5,000 today, it was at $2,500. Shit, I got to go back even further, y'all. It was at $2,500, and I'll just go with the last time it was really close to the 2,500, 25, boom. Back in 2020, right? So you had to wait, and this is a COVID dip, so I can consider that to be somewhat of a thing if you really want to get technical with it. That shit was all the way back in 2018. COVID was a freak little black swan event, but neither here nor there. It did happen, so we could say if you took advantage of it, cool. You could actually get it here, and it took you damn near 4 freaking years, 1,400 days to get there for a 2x. And folks, you're about to see a 2x in the ecosystem of Hex. It's already damn near done a 2x in 7 days. Like, this happens all the time. You see literally times where it can go up like this, and it can go up at a 3x in 11 days. Would I rather wait 4.5 years or fuck around and find out and see if I can knock it out and possibly hit the jackpot? And this is kind of what crypto is, y'all. I do this because it's, again, a little bit crazy. I don't necessarily mess with meme coins. They're even crazier, but they can see even more returns. Half the times you just see meme coins go whoop, whoop, and you just see it go. And then it goes sideways forever upon ever upon ever, and then it never returns. That's meme coins. Whereas, like, hopefully something like PulseChain, Hex, PulseX, yes, the volatility is going to be there. Yes, there's going to be some volatility, folks. That's 1,000% in the game, and you're going to see it go up. You're going to see it go down. But look at this chart again in this short amount of time, which was roughly, let's see if I can get the exact over here, 179 days. Again, this is 6 months. It did an 11x. 6 months, y'all. It did an 11x, and I've pulled this up before. But just imagine, play along with me, go along with me for the ride. We go and do this exact same 11x span in another 6 months. Again, maybe it doesn't kick off right away. Maybe it takes a little bit longer, but where are we sitting at that point in time, right? Where do we end up going? It turns into some freaking wild, beautiful numbers, y'all. It turns into where, again, PulseX is sitting now at damn near 3 zeros and a 2.7. That's incredible. Again, that would be a beautiful 11x from here, from today, from where we're at, right? We're sitting at 4 zeros and a 3. So put us into the 4 zeros and a 3 up here, right? Play us in this little zone up here. So it's 4 zeros and a 3 at the top, you know, somewhere in this little zone. Beautiful, beautiful. And what if it's all the way out here? I'm not saying that by October you can only expect a 10x, but to get a 10x is pretty damn freaking awesome, y'all. Let's be real about that. And this is what Richard's talking about, where he's like, you're bitching that the price is down. You're bitching that the price is down right now, 78%. But where are the people who actually bought this particular dip, like myself, like Pulse Nation, who are still up 3.5x? Where you at? Yeah, I know y'all are with me. I know you still got some. But the downside to it is, folks, for us that are holding, we're not outpacing the sellers in terms of their dollar sell amount, right? So you can see we got more buyers than sellers. You got 900 buyers, you got 600 sellers. You got plenty more buyers than sellers, but the sellers are doing nothing but net sell. They aren't actually going in and contributing any additional benefit or perk or benefit to it at all. And that's kind of what he's talking about. People who are, you know, you never really think that you're the raindrop causing the flood. They never think that. They say there's no way. Yeah, I want to cash out my $1 million, but there's no way I'm causing this dip. Again, it's all part of the whole big picture, though, at the same time. And neither here nor there, folks. That's just kind of one of those things that I was kind of laughing at whenever I was reading that tweet from Richard Hart. It really hit, you know, to a resonating spot once again, as always, where the dude just spitting out solid information on these. And I thought, let me put a little spin on it. Let me throw a little RH, you know, vocal on it as well. But again, folks, again, Ethereum sitting on 8 way right now. Ethereum sitting at 8 way. Good stuff. Good stuff. What we got going on in chat? What we got going on in chat? What we
got going on in chat today? What we got going on? Okay.
All right. All right, let's get it. Tam, what's up? Tam, what's up, fam? We got Eliza Barnley saying Richard actually tweeted that Hex hit a new all-time high. Disgusting behavior and an insult to all the people that got wrecked investing in Hex. You know, and it's that comment right there that, you know, sometimes you hear, and I'm not saying that your feelings aren't valid, because while Hex on Ethereum is down, you can see Hex over on PulseChain is doing some upwards momentum. And, you know, to give credit where credit's due, Moon King, as a matter of fact, sent this message to Richard back in 2022, basically talking about this exact same scenario, right? And so if you pull it up real quick, or I'll pull it up for y'all. I knew all along RH would make the new Hex. I would market the new Hex. How? 2 years ago, I asked a real important question on game theory. He gave the answer to a real important question, and it's clear as day that anything with a new chart will be easy to market. Hexagons are triggered, right? So as he asked, how do charts work with two different assets? Not being an ass, but would you start Hex on PulseChain with a brand new chart, or would you continue using the same for both charts? Back in April of 2022, so we are 2 years later at this point in time, damn near. He goes, similar to Uniswap V1 to V2 move or V3 move, V2 and V3 started with virgin charts. It's always been that way. He's always said it was a virgin chart. He can absolutely market it however the heck he wants to market it, right? Everyone has their own belief as to what the right way of doing it is. And folks, I'll just tell you right now, there's never going to be a right way. You can't make everyone happy. Like, it's 1,000% impossible to make everybody happy. And if you honestly do, you're going to still make so many people unhappy, no matter what was going on. If we have done a 10x, which there has been tokens that have done 10x's already, but if you didn't take advantage of it, or you didn't buy it at that time, or you didn't capture it because of whatever reason or another, it's that same logic that says if we had done a 10x and it didn't do a 100x, people would be pissed. If you did a 100x and it didn't do a 1000x, people would be pissed. If it did a 2x and it hasn't done a 10x, people are pissed. So at the end of the day, you're not going to make everyone happy, period. End of the story. He's just marketing it the way that he thinks the best way to bring people in. Because at the end of the day, folks, do we need more active users on PulseChain for it to pump? The answer should be yes. You want as many daily active users as you possibly can. You want the volume to be good. You want all of that to matter. So he's just trying to do what he can. That's the reason why he says, like, forget all the shit tokens that are getting launched. You know, this is a standpoint that I believe firmly with him as well. We don't need all these new founders launching their own tokens on PulseChain. We already had all the tokens on Ethereum. You just couldn't transact on Ethereum because the gas fees were shit, right? And so because of that, boom, we got PulseChain. Guys, did you know all of your tokens over on Ethereum are on PulseChain? And that's the narrative that was marketed in the beginning. Hey, Link guys, did you know that your link was copied over? And what's beautiful about this at the end of the day is PulseChain is always going to have a forever marketing standpoint on this. You can always at any point in time say, hey, if you were holding crypto in your Ethereum wallet or anything on Ethereum back in mid-May of 2023, did you know you got shit over on PulseChain for you for free? That's pretty cool. You should go check out how much money you got. Now, whether they stay, whether they sell, I don't care. It's up to them to do whatever they want at the end of the day. But that's the whole premise. It's bringing people over into the ecosystem. Otherwise, we're all just circle jerking each other and saying, hey guys, I'll give you my money and you give me your money and we'll just have fun trading between each other. That's not really fun for anyone, man. Do y'all want to see the mad gains? I know I fucking do. Hellos. So I'm with you, Eliza. I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, everyone's got their own version of marketing, right? Him tweeting about anything at this point in time irks people to ever upon ever. Whenever people are like, oh my God, he fucking talked about DAI. Like, people freaked out over that, man. People absolutely freaked out. And my good buddy Disciple was saying the same thing. He's like, guys, that's what it's always been. We need some news stories out there, guys. I check out the fucking news stories and articles in crypto damn near every day. And we don't really have anything on PulseChain. There's no one going out writing articles about PulseChain, about this, about new tokens being launched, about meme coins, about anything on the PulseChain ecosystem. Whereas I can go damn near on any news site right now, and it's all talks about, you know, Phantom. It talks about Solana. It talks about Dogecoin. It talks about Tron. It talks. Where are the fucking news articles on PulseChain? How do you get news articles on PulseChain? Well, one of the ways you can get some news articles is by the meme coin possibly reaching parity. Imagine what that news story is. Did you know that PulseChain forked over the ecosystem of Ethereum? And did you know that all the people who had DAI back then have it over on PulseChain for free? And not only is it $1, it's $2. Oh my God, you doubled your money and it's free. I don't know. I don't really care what the narrative is. Maybe it's only 50 cents. Maybe it's 10 cents. I don't really care. I'm not holding any freaking P-DAI or anything like that. It's not a narrative that I want to go and shill and promote. But there's got to be some news articles, guys. Can we agree that there's got to be some fucking articles? Yes, we can have as much outreach as we possibly can. We can try to do everything that we possibly can to bring people on board. But at the end of the day, news articles would make it a little easier. They would. News articles would make it easier for us to be able to reach more people. I mean, heck, the fact that they're showing the highest of stakes on all of the United Emirates Airlines is pretty freaking cool. That's something that could possibly make news. Now, I'm not saying that that's what it's always going to take. No, but it's a part of the ecosystem growing. How do you think Dog with Hat did so freaking crazy? Because you got shit doing over here where you got this little picture of a dog with hat, and then the motherfucking goes and just goes kaboom and just gets sent flying to the moon, right? And it's because you see people reaching out, and then guess what? The FOMO buys start coming in, all that good stuff. Accumulation, what's up? Tintop, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Don't remind me about 2013. I should have bought then. Yeah, facts. I mean, right? Come on, right? We all should have. We all could have. We all heard about it, I'm sure. Not everyone, but You know, maybe you heard someone or knew someone who had done it, who was in it. I think I got introduced in 2014 and just brushed it off. I got introduced again in 2015. I brushed it off. And then 2017, I started investing a little bit of capital. And so while I got to see Cardano go and do 100x, which was freaking awesome, I still didn't go heavy like I did back in, like I am now, because it's like, oh, okay, cool, man. Well, maybe I'll put 1% of my portfolio in it and maybe it'll turn into something one day. How cool would that be? And now I'm like, fuck all the other ecosystems. That shit is trash. I'll wait a few years to go make 10x, 100x, 1000x potential. I'll wait a few years. I'm cool with it. Did RH confirm PX is a cycle one coin narrative? No, I don't think so yet, but he probably will. Why not? Why not? Hold up, my puppy's having some dreamies. Yeah, good job. Hi, cutie. Right. Alan says, yo, what up, ATX? I wonder if Wall Street thinks BTC is gonna pump this weekend from the halving. Yeah, they probably do. And it won't. Like, the halving cycle is not the narrative to get the pump. The 50 weeks to shake out the weak hands, that's not the narrative that's gonna cause the pump. So the 50 weeks to shake out the weak hands is actually on April 24th, if I remember correctly. I mean, heck, I have it charted right now, as a matter of fact, just so you can see. But the 50 weeks to shake out the weak hands is April 24th. And what's going to happen after this date? Is it just going to go, Gwaja, just freaking skyrocket and go, Gwaja, just freaking fly? Like, I don't think so personally, but that's, again, the narrative that everyone's waiting for. They're like, you'll have people start buying right now, for example, just for that narrative. So maybe people buying right here are anticipating this 50 weeks to shake out the weak hands to be the main kicker and main thing that goes, Gwaja, and sends it up flying. Personally, I don't think that's going to happen. I think after this, it's going to go sideways. You're going to get the 50-week mark. You're going to go, oh shit. Well, we're past 50 weeks. Well, why aren't we doing? Maybe it's 52 weeks. Maybe it's not 52 weeks. Maybe it's a full year, or maybe it's a year and a half. I don't know, dude. Everyone's going to be like coming out with their own little story. At the end of the day, the market's going to do what the market does, y'all. And the best thing you could do is, instead of trying to buy time or try to like choose particular items, set up a good DCA strategy with the 5 P's of proper preparation, preventing poor performance, y'all. Simple as that. Simple as that. What hex all-time high? Yeah, it was higher yesterday and last week. Yeah, so I'll share the little tweet with you as well. And I think it was right here. So we'll just go Richard Hart. Oh, I clicked on the photo by accident. Where was it? Well, I mean, you talk about that real quick. The haters, you need to fail. You need to fail in order for their pain to go away. They'll frame anything as failure to try to avoid their sadness. PulseChain, PulseX, Inc, and Hex on PulseChain charts up, mostly up to the right for the last half a year. Do not click links in responses. That wasn't the one that people kind of got upset about. Inc did 25x in 87 days. So he's over here trying to promote the ecosystem. And here's another one. This is the one that, you know, Liza had kind of mentioned as well just moments ago. Hex was nearly at new all-time high 35 days ago. It did 5.3x in 198 days. To be clear, this is the Hex on PulseChain where all the liquidity is, and not on the Hex on Ethereum. Do not click links and responses and pastas. And so everyone's like, huh, now he's not even talking about it. He's just sharing what the chart's showing, y'all. That's it. At the end of the day, like, no matter which way you want to look at it, that's the way I see it. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying he's always going to be 100% correct. I'm not saying shit that I agree with everything he does. Let's talk about some things I don't necessarily like real quick. I don't like the fact that we don't have limit orders. Why don't we have limit orders? I want limit orders. I don't think it's that crazy. Limit orders are a lifesaver. You don't have to be staring at a computer the entire time. Shit, you don't have to take the risk of having crypto on your phone. God forbid you're out and about. So that way you can buy the dip whenever a possible price appears, right? Like, imagine you're at work or you're out and about or you're at the grocery store and the price of EHEX, for example, drops down to 4 zeros and a 1 or 2 zeros and a 1. My bad. 2 zeros and a 1. You're like, oh shit, I would love to take advantage of that. I want to get a million hex for $1,000. Sign me up. But I can't because I'm out with my family. And imagine it's like boop, 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 right on back upstairs. So It's all of that, y'all. It's all of that and more. 1 second. All right, cool. So, what else we got? Pull up the 1 week on the crypto bubbles. Ooh, let's do it. Crypto bubbles. Been a while since I've been on this site. Cryptobubbles.net. Let's pull up the 1 week. Does everything just look red? I mean, I figured it was gonna be that. Anyways, that's kind of just comical, y'all. And this is funny to me because everyone cries about these dips, and folks, if you don't already know, the 40, 50s, shit, even 60, 70 to 80% dips happen in a bull market cycle for altcoins in particular. But for like Bitcoin, for example, a 30, 40% dip should in fact happen. We haven't seen a 30% dip at all. Ethereum should have a 50% dip. We haven't got really past 30%, right? But yeah, that's just comical. The overall market is hurting. It's hurting. Everyone's hurt. Is there anyone up green? I'm colorblind, so I can't really tell. There's a way to make this blue, right? How do neutral? There you go. Is there? No, I don't want neutral. I thought they had a colorblind mode. Am I thinking of like banter bubbles or something? I don't know. So yeah, I don't think I see anything green. Maybe I'm. Hey, Hex is green. Oh my god! Hex is green. Anyway, comical, y'all. Comical. We're just having fun here. We are having fun here. What 2x? It's near 1 cent combined. It was at 1.5 cents 2 weeks ago. That is Hex down and to the right forever, just like Wise and Axion. Those Wise and Axion tokens are trash, but neither here nor there. If it looks the same as what you believe wall to wall, then it is what it is, but your whole cost basis is not at the all-time lows. Stop capping. Why are you hating so much, man? You come in here and you hate quite a bit. I appreciate you coming on the stream. I love the different points of views, and I love sharing this information as well with everyone, and I don't mind even sharing your comments as well. But I feel like you're a hater, man, right? And hate only begets more hate. So I'm not gonna do anything to you, but you got to find something that makes you happy, man. And crypto just doesn't seem to do that, unless coming on here and being a down talker of the ecosystem and trying to step on people when they're already in an emotional state. I don't know, maybe that makes you happy. I think you got to go touch some trees though, my guy. Adam Chadwick says, haha, what do you think the fair value of Hex should be? I don't think we should have, like, personally, I'm not a fan that PulseChain ever launched, right? Like, we can talk about that, but that's a separate discussion for a whole separate video. I think Hex was doing great. Yes, gas fees sucked, but people would work themselves around it to where they would find a way to get it done and you know, work what it is. So had PulseChain not launched, yeah, I think the bottom price would have been around 10 cents. And maybe it didn't run up to 50 cents, for example, right? So maybe we only capped out at 20 cents last bull market instead of the 50 cents that it capped out at because of the PulseChain sacrifice. But then you get the downside, and maybe it would have dropped down to, I don't know, we'll say 5 cents or something like that. So it still would have gotten a dip, but it was still would have been tied together with bonding through liquidity with wrapped Ethereum and all that good stuff. So as ETH would have pumped, it would have also injected Hex pumping a little bit more. But now that we have Hex decorrelated from the overall ecosystem, so when others are pumping, we just kind of do our own thing, which is why you see the overall market red and then Hex up green, just like on Crypto Bubbles. Yeah, it could have been a little bit better where it should have been, you know, a little bit higher. But dude, like, we can talk about the would have, could have, should have, what happened. We could talk about different fantasy worlds where, you know, in this alternate universe, we went down this path. At the end of the day, man, ain't no way of telling. There ain't no way of telling. And look, dude, I'm not saying to go buy the token. If you don't like the token, then you don't gotta buy it. There are plenty of other crypto tokens that are making plenty of people a heck of a lot of money. You don't have to be a part of the ecosystem if you feel like it didn't live up to the reputation that you once did, or that you once thought it would, or that you were promised it would because your friend got you in and they said it was going to do 1,000x in 6 months. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. It is what it is. The narrative was always, I don't see why Hex on both chains can't have value. Remember, Richard? Disciple talks tough, but he falls in line with whatever RH says real quick. Caught you live. What's up, Funkmaster Hex? That's the Red Sea right there. Sure is, Adam Chadwick. Hex is green. Yeah, there you go. I assumed there was one green, and I thought there was a reason why you wanted me to pull it up. I just couldn't see. It. Not hating you at all. I like you. I hate the Hex price. I don't like the Hex price either, man. I like this shit was this shit sucks, man. Aha. Aha. Yeah, dude. Anyways, having some fun on these voice effects, man, really is always fun. Dude, can we be real about this? Ever since March 11th and he sent the kill tweet out, like, yeah, the prices went down. That shit sucked, dude. I don't understand the purpose of the kill tweet, right? But if you look at the dates, PulseX was, you know, all these tokens were on a beautiful trend line. And I pulled this up with my buddy the other day, but look at where the charts were trending. It was like, oh, up and to the right, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, kill tweet. Everything goes down fucking 70%, right? Like, this is the reality of what went down. And again, that's not quite the exact pull. Why is it not pulling up on that particular, here we go. Everything goes down, you know, 68%, 70%, 60%. I don't get it. I don't understand it, right? But at the end of the day, what am I going to do about it, right? He has the right to say whatever the heck he wants to say. If he wants to go and do shit certain ways and I don't understand it, I don't go. There's always going to be something that's going to break the camel's back at the end of the day. And yeah, so 1,000%, yes, you are. People are still going to blame for everything. Dude, he got blamed so hard. And again, I wasn't around for this. He got blamed like crazy during the adoption amplifier, right? Because back in the day, it was supposed to be a 300% bonus and it ended up being a 30% bonus. Because the OA that had never staked before ever, or the wallets that held the OA addresses had never staked Hex before. They were supposed to get a 300% bonus on their Hex, and then it went down to 200%, and then went down to 100%. And this is days before the adoption amplifier ended, right? And you get the big payday, and all those things that happened, and then the day of the big payday, 99.9% of the Hex in the ecosystem got staked, giving people only a 30% bonus in their additional Hex, and then they unstaked the very next day. So it's literally like a one-day stake, just so that way it could claim and hold on to the positions. And everyone freaked out, bitched at them for 6 months, and then the price went off to reach 50 cents, and people stopped bitching. So that's really what's going to have to be at this point in time. People have to see the green candles come back around, and then they can say, oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. I don't understand why you did what you did, but I'll take the money, man. Thanks for making the ecosystem. You're the best, Richard. You're so freaking awesome, Richard. That's what's going to happen. My thoughts. I think it's going to take longer than people think, though. So I feel you. I understand. I get it. I'm with you. I hear you. All those good things. Hex will have value on both chains. It's cheaper to have your e-Hex on PulseChain. Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of buying all my e-Hex over on PulseChain and then bridging it over whenever I accumulate enough and then just stake it out. And whatever happens in the future, man, fuck it. Like, dude, like, it's all good at the same time, y'all. It's all good at the same time. But let's just kind of, let's have some fun. Let's do a little cool down real quick and, you know, look at the charts while the stream kind of comes to an end real fast. And see some more information over here so we can kind of see how it's all playing out.
A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the skull, perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, of reckoning and calculating. I'm not saying that thinking is bad. Like everything else, it's useful in moderation. A good servant, but a bad master. And all so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because through excessive thinking they have lost touch with reality. That's to say, we confuse signs, words, numbers, symbols, and ideas with the real world. Most of us would have rather money than tangible wealth, and a great occasion is somehow spoiled for us unless photographed. And to read about it the next day in the newspaper is oddly more fun for us than the original event.
I hope that makes some sense to y'all, folks. I want every single one of y'all to understand that we have a beautiful ecosystem. We have plenty of stuff happening that's going to kick off here in the future. I love every single one of y'all. I want everyone to see make mad money this cycle. Don't get washed out at the end of the day. It's too close to the end of the road. We're just having some fun. And I have all the most love for every single one of y'all. I want you to have a wonderful evening, afternoon, and morning. And I'll be back tomorrow. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace, y'all.
I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. 'Cause anything worth